Humanity was remembered because of a single message transmitted across 600 light-years. A message so strange, so bold, so absolutely human, that entire civilizations halted to debate what it meant. The Galactic Concordance called it the promise of the fallen sun, but humans called it something different. They called it a debt they swore to repay. Admiral Kales of the Cerati Dominion stood at the edge of the Stellar Council's great amphitheater, his 6 golden eyes narrowing as the hollow screen replayed the ancient human transmission again. The chamber trembled from the low murmur of hundreds of alien delegates debating in restless tones. On the hollow screen, a flickering figure appeared, a woman, armored, bloodied, but still upright. Not human anymore, not fully. Her suit was cracked, her helmet shattered, her eyes burning with a feverish mix of sorrow and fury. Captain Aurora Hale, the last survivor of the ship Soul's verdict. Her voice echoed through the council chamber, her final message playing for the 1000th time. To any who receive this, humanity will return. We will repay what was taken from us. Not with conquest, not with annihilation, but with balance. Remember this. We pay our debts. The recording ended with a burst of static and the hollow sound of a dying star imploding, her ship's reactor detonating as she made one last desperate stand. The galaxy had argued about it for centuries. Some believed the humans were vengeful. Others believed they were noble. Most feared them. Kales feared them too, though he'd never admit it. Especially now, because the humans, after 300 silent years, had finally returned. The alert rippled across the council chamber like a shockwave. Bright crimson lights ignited overhead as the central AI voice boomed through every translator system. Unidentified fleet entering Orion Gateway. Origin, Terran Quadrant. Signature match, humanity. Delegates gasped. Some hissed. Some collapsed entirely. Kales' wings snapped open in alarm. They came through the sealed gates? Impossible. The Orion Gateway was fortified beyond comprehension. Gravity shear nets, quantum minefields, dimensional scramblers. No known species could breach them without clearance. No known species except humans, apparently. The council floor exploded into chaos. They have come to wage war. No, to reclaim territory. It's retribution. They spoke of a debt. Prepare the planetary shields. Kales slammed a claw into the council's resonance podium. Silence. The hall quieted. His voice trembled despite his rank. We do not know their intent yet. The humans have long been unpredictable. A diplomatic term. What he truly meant was, they are terrifying in ways the galaxy still cannot understand. Across deep space, the returning human fleet drifted like a silent storm. 50 dreadnoughts. Hundreds of frigates. Thousands of unmanned kinetic drones. A carrier vessel so enormous it eclipsed moons. And leading them all was a ship that the galaxy's databanks labeled with respectful dread. HFY vessel never before seen. Yet somehow familiar. It bore the insignia of a golden sun split cleanly into 2 halves, a memorial symbol worn by survivors of the Soul's verdict generation. The ship hailed the Galactic Concordance. A single message. A simple message. We have come to settle our debt. Inside the oath-bound, Captain Aurora Hale stood before the hollow display, her posture rigid beneath her deep black uniform. Her hair, short silver, was braided in the traditional style of her ancestor. Her ancestor, Captain Aurora Hale, the woman who had recorded the message the galaxy still feared. Leora had memorized that message by heart long before she ever learned to walk. Every child of the Hale lineage did. It was not honored. It was not celebrated. It was a wound, a promise, a cold flame that burned through generations. Admiral, she said to the figure beside her, the Concordance has acknowledged our arrival. Admiral Sovereign Malik, massive, graying, calm as deep space, studied the incoming transmissions with unreadable eyes. Good, he murmured. They remember. Do they fear us? She asked. He turned his gaze to her, voice low and steady. They fear the idea of us. He paused. And ideas are the most dangerous thing we ever created. The council chamber prepared for the human delegation, activating ritual holograms and adjusting environmental settings to accommodate what they believed humans needed. Most aliens had never met a human. Fewer had ever spoken to one. None had forgotten the stories. Stories of a species that could outlast radiation storms. Stories of engineers who built starships out of ruins. Stories of soldiers who fought even after losing limbs. Stories of diplomats who cried when their enemies mourned. Stories of resilience, brutality, compassion, madness. All wrapped into one species with a will that refused to bow. Kaylee's waited at the entrance, heart pounding. His 6 eyes blinked rapidly. "Maintain dignity," he muttered to himself, then cursed under his breath. "By the stars, maintain anything." The door opened, and humans stepped through, not hulking beasts, not armored monsters, not glowing-eyed titans of war. Just humans, average height, calm, composed. But their presence was like gravity, subtle, heavy, impossible to ignore. Captain Aurora Hale walked at the front, flanked by 2 officers. She surveyed the hall, not with arrogance, but with sharp, assessing focus, as though she were calculating outcomes, escape routes, and political threats all at once. Kaylee stepped forward, bowing slightly. "Humans of Terra," he began, "the Council welcomes you." Leora inclined her head. "We appreciate your hospitality." Kaylee's forced his voice steady. "Please explain the meaning of your message. What debt do humans believe they must repay?" The hall fell utterly silent. Leora looked up at the massive hollow of her ancestor, the recording that had haunted the galaxy for centuries. Captain Aurora Hale's broken form towered above them, mid-sentence, frozen in her final moment. "We are here," Leora said softly, "because the galaxy never understood what our ancestor meant." She turned to face the council. She did not speak of vengeance. She spoke of responsibility. Whispers rippled across the alien delegates. Leora continued, voice firm but sorrowed. 300 years ago, the Cerati Dominion destroyed the colony ship Sol's Verdict, a vessel carrying refugees fleeing a collapsing star system. Gasps. Even Kaylee stiffened. "They did not know," Leora said quietly. "They did not understand who was aboard. They believed it a military incursion." Kaylee's voice cracked. "I was not alive then, but our records confirm this. It was a grave error." Leora nodded. Aurora Hale fought not to punish the Cerati, but to protect the nearby systems from the reactor detonation. She gave her life to prevent a stellar catastrophe. "Silence. The debt," Leora said, "is ours. We swore to return, when humanity was strong enough, to continue her mission." She activated a hollow dash map that IT displayed 97 star systems, each marked with a pulsing red icon. "These systems are dying," Leora said. "Stars collapsing. Habitats failing. Civilizations on the brink." Kaylee stared at the map, stunned. We were unaware of many of these." Leora Ga.